Sky All-Star Angel Reese accomplishes WNBA first. In what's already been a historic season for rookie Angel Reese, the Chicago Sky Star has again etched her name in the record books. During Friday's 82-80 loss to the Connecticut Sun, the All-Star posted 20 rebounds for the second consecutive game, a WNBA first. In just her first season, Reese has accomplished something no other player has, an achievement few have come close to reaching. Per StatHead, only 7 players had recorded 2 career 20-rebound games before Friday. Now, just Sylvia Fowles 7, Tina Charles 5, Jonquel Jones 4, and Lisa Leslie 3 have more than the Sky Star all-time. Meanwhile, Reese joins Charles 2010 as the only rookie to post 2 or more 20-rebound games. The feat is even rarer in the NBA, as Shaquille O'Neal was the last first-year player to bring down at least 20 boards in back-to-back games in 1993, per ESPN. That last part is fitting, considering the strong bond built over the years between Reese and the Hall of Famer, who recently backed her for this year's Rookie of the Year honor. Reese already has several records, having clinched the rookie mark for consecutive double-doubles, while becoming the fastest player to reach 20 double-doubles. Meanwhile, she's on pace to finish with the highest rebound per game average, 12.3, in league history, and is now just 47 rebounds short of the single-season record. Per BetMGM, Reese 5,000 trails Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark 1,500 in the Rookie of the Year race. However, Friday's accomplishment is another incredible addition to a quickly growing resume. Angel Reese gives praise to Rod Wave's latest single. Chicago Sky Star rookie Angel Reese looks to be enjoying listening to musical artist Rod Wave's new album, Last Lap, and she even thinks one of the songs in the album was written specifically for her. Reese was referring to the single called Angel with an Attitude, the 7th track on Wave's latest album. In the lyrics, Wave sings to the listener, presumably his lover, saying he met an angel with an attitude, but she wasn't even half of you. The Chi-Town Barbie praised the track and the whole album on social media while replying to a post on X-Girl. "I thought Rod Wave wrote this for me. The album is so good," she posted. Angel Reese is perhaps just entertained by the idea that Rod Wave might have written the song with her in mind, even if it's not really the case. And if so, she has been mentioned and even featured in songs by other artists before anyway. Angel Reese name-dropped in a Lil Durk song. Lil Durk, a rapper who also hails from Chicago, is an avid Sky supporter who also seems to be a huge Angel Reese fan. So much that he name-dropped her in his rap song with UETB Fat called Conspiracy V2. The song isn't necessarily about Reese or the Sky, but her spectacular rookie season, despite how it ended prematurely, may have earned her a shout-out in it. Her name came up in the third and final verse of the song, which says, "Courtside at the Sky game, 100 on me, tellin' Angel Reese to shoot." Aside from watching Sky games courtside, Lil Durk has also had an opportunity to meet Angel Reese in person. On June 23, he was permitted to visit the Sky's locker room and congratulate the team personally on their huge, hard-fought win against Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. The Fever led 72-64 entering the fourth quarter that night, until the Sky exploded on a 24-15 scoring run in the game's final moments to clinch the tight victory. The final score was 88-87. Angel Reese scored 25 points and grabbed 16 rebounds that night, recording the 8th of her record-setting 15 consecutive double-doubles that season. Before her rookie season was cut short by a wrist injury, she was also able to set the record for the most double-doubles by a rookie in a single season. The records she shattered may have not been enough to land them a spot in the playoffs, but she still delivered a performance that had fans taking notice. The WNBA is having a real moment Caitlin Clark in the league's historic season by the numbers. When many of us hear the Fall Classic, we automatically think of baseball's World Series. I'm not sure that will be the case for future generations. Yes, I'm being somewhat provocative with that line. But the WNBA Finals have arrived on the heels of what can only be described as a historic season for the league. Across a metric of statistics, it's clear that America's interest in the WNBA is at the highest point this century in large part because of Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark. Let's start simple Google searches. They've been higher this WNBA season, starting with the draft in April, than at any point since we've had data, 2004. Searches for the WNBA are up over 300 compared to last season, up over 850% compared to 5 seasons ago, and have risen nearly 1,400 from a decade ago. That is, the WNBA has been rising, and this year it really took off. This interest has translated into revenue for the league. Attendance is up a staggering 48% from 2023. There wasn't a single team with an average regular season home attendance of 5 figures, 10,000 plus, in 2023. This season, there were 6. Leading the charge was Clark's Fever. A little more than 4,000 people attended their average game in 2023, which ranked them second to last. This season, more than 17,000 did, a 319% rise that put them far and away ahead of any other WNBA team and ahead of 5 NBA teams, including the hometown Indiana Pacers. We see the same pattern in merchandise. Sales are up 600% from last year. This includes the boost from rookie sensations Clark, who had the best-selling jersey, and Angel Reese of the Chicago Sky, who had the second best-selling jersey. Indeed, the Clark-Reese rivalry helped to spur what is perhaps one of the most important metrics of success: viewership. More people tuned into the average nationally televised WNBA game this season, 657, than in any season in the 21st century. When we focus on games involving Clark, her impact becomes clear. Nearly 1.2 million on average tuned into games including Clark's Fever, roughly 3 times the average for games without the Fever competitions between the Fever and Reese's Sky set league records. This included the league's most-watched game in over 2 decades, which was in mid-June on CBS Sports, 2.25 million, which was itself beaten by 2.35 million tuning into an ESPN game between the two squads 2 weeks later. But arguably more important to the league is that the Clark-Reese showdowns got people to tune into channels they wouldn't otherwise. More people tuned into a blowout involving Clark and Reese at the end of August, 1.6 million, than any other game broadcast in ION history. These Sky Fever numbers actually match or exceed the average nationally televised MLB regular season game. And though the Fever have been eliminated, these WNBA playoffs have continued to break records. Game 1 of the Liberty Aces series was the most watched WNBA semifinals game in 22 years, right up until Game 3 broke that record with an audience of 994. Last year's audience was less than half that mark. Of course, the MLB's ratings this postseason will exceed those of the WNBA, with Clark's Fever bounced from the postseason. But it's clear that the WNBA really has a bright future thanks to Clark and Reese. Take a look at data from Q-Scores, which help to measure the popularity of stars. More Americans know who Clark, 44%, is than baseball stars Aaron Judge, 30%, Mike Trout, 25%, or Shohei Ohtani, 23%. Reese has numbers similar to those of these baseball stars, with 27% knowing who she is. An average of 21% knew who the average athlete tested was. It's not just that a lot of people know who Clark is. It's that a lot of the people who do list her as one of their favorite stars, 20%. That's significantly higher than the average male or female athlete, 13%. Reese comes in above average too, 16%. As an old friend of mine once said, entertainment rides or dies because of the stars. This year seems to have proven that old adage and suggests the WNBA has a bright future.